series, not the last video. Still got 2 videos to go, but the last 2 videos are pre-recorded because there were some things that I really wanted to do, and they were best done recorded. So yeah, hi Cindy. Oh wow, -3. Yeah, it was about that here this morning, to be honest with you. It's freezing. 2 degrees in Scotland. Hi Laurie. Hi Anne. Hi Sally Joe. Hi Shelley. Just getting my tablet to catch up. Just going to wait for my tablet to catch up, and then I will let you know what we are making. Oh my goodness, are we all wonky? Is that wonky? That looks wonky. Let me just straighten my tinsel up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, something like that. This tinsel, it looks lovely, but it annoys me because it's like, it feels messy on my desk. Not that my desk is tidy, but anyway. Right, so today we are going to do, now I've only managed to make a sample, a rough sample that is not, it's still got measurements on it, it's not perfect, okay? So we're going to make a perfect version, not a perfect version, but do you know what I mean? We're going to make a better version of this. So this is going to be like indoor decor, basically. So I thought we would do one of these little tea light holders. Now, this has turned out a lot bigger than I was expecting it to do. But what it was I saw this done on Pinterest. And there was no instructions because actually I think they were for sale on Etsy. So there was no instructions. So I've had to kind of figure it out myself. But yeah, but I've got an idea because obviously this is a bit big for a tea light. However, I'm going to put something in it so that you don't have to worry about that. I've also got this candle, which I actually decorated myself, and this does actually fit in. It's a bit snug, but it does fit. So I think that, you know, the bigger battery tea light things you can get, battery candles you can get, I think that they would probably fit in here. So that's what it looks like from the side, but I think it's really cool because as long as you've got some kind of foliage dye, this would work perfectly. So yeah, hi Karen, hi Anne, hi Shelley. You snowing again? Yeah, we are going to be getting snow soon, hopefully, but we haven't had any yet, thankfully. So yeah, so the overall width of it is, so from the widest point to the widest point, it's like 2 7/8, pretty much. 3 inches, 2 7/8, 3 inches wide from the like the widest point, and then across this way it is about 2 5/8, something like that. 2 5/8. So yeah, but it's just quite nice and it's quite simple. So I thought we'd have a go. So that's, you got a little hexagon. And what started this off was I saw, obviously as I said, I saw it on Pinterest, but then I had to figure out the hexagonal bit. And so because we did that box the other day, the star-shaped box, that then gave me the ability to be able to work out the hexagonal bit that I would need for the base. So yeah, so these are quite quick, quite easy. As long as you've got a foliage die, that works. I've actually decided to use the full thing. So this is the In Love Art Shop die, and you get obviously the outside pieces, which is up the middle pieces, and you also get the outline pieces. Don't forget to use iced images to get 20% off. Oops, Daisy, she says dropping it. So what I've done with this one is I've actually laid them up. But I saw the one that they had, they just used like a foliage die. So you could use anything. If you had like a snowflake sprig, you could probably use that. I was considering having a go with the new snowflake one that I had from In Love Art Shop, but I didn't have time to really play with it properly. So yeah, so there we go. But I just think they'd look quite cute. As on the Pinterest page, I saw them done in white, and they look really nice. I also saw them done in pink, just all in pink, and they looked beautiful. And then they had another one that was like a paler pink. So I just thought on your Christmas table, if you wanted a nice little, you know, decor item, then that would work quite well. And as I said, I'm actually going to put something around. I'm going to use a tea light because that's what I use most of the time. I'm actually going to put something around the outside. I was thinking some thin tinsel, you know, like the craft tinsel, not like tinsel you put on your tree, but like the really thin tinsel. That would look quite good around the outside there. But yeah, so it's quite easy to do. So I'm going to make a start. Hello everybody. Very cold in Lancashire. Yep, it's cold down here in Birmingham too. Very cold. Thankfully we haven't had any snow yet, although I do like snow, but it just means that, you know, getting places is a bit tricky. Okay, so we are going to start with a piece of card that is 1.5 by 9.5. And what you're going to do, let's start with this one first. Along the shortest edge, you're just going to score at 1/2 inch all the way down. And then along the long edge, you're going to score at 1.5, at 3, at 4.5, at 6, at 7.5, and at 9. Okay, so it's basically every 1.5 inches you're scoring. So that is that. Hi Karen, hi Anne, hi Marianne, hi Vicky, hi everybody I haven't seen yet, Mary J, Melly J even. So that's that one done. So that is all the scoring that you need to do. So let's put our trimmer away. Right, so then let me grab my little scissors. Try not to jog the camera at the same time. So what we're going to do here is I am going to just, in fact, let me put red tape on first before I go ahead and cut notches out, because I find it's easier to do it that way. So I'm going to use a bit of red tape, and I'm going to put the red tape just on this end 1/2 inch tab, only the top bit. You don't need to bother with the little 1/2 inch bit at the bottom, because you're going to cut that off in a minute. So on there like that, and then all along the bottom here, and you can literally do one big strip. It just makes things a bit easier, and you are doing it on this side, not on the other side. If you want to, you can do it on the other side. I just don't know how well that's then going to fit on your hexagon. You might run out of space, as it were, around your hexagon. So, okay, so that's like that. So then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in, and I'm just going to notch that there like that, and that there like that. And then do the same here, and then I basically need to notch along all of these. So the best way to do it is if you fold it, and then you can just notch 2 at once. So that's those 2 done, and you're going to fold it anyway, so you may as well just fold it and then notch 2 at once. Make sure it's obviously folded straight, which mine isn't. I must have gone off a little bit. So we're just going to go ahead and just notch all of these as we go. It's just quicker this way. This is a super quick make, by the way, just warning you all. I've made it a bit longer just because I'm going to be decorating the inside on this one, whereas when I did my first one, I didn't decorate the inside. I don't quite know why my score lines are so wonky, but clearly I'm not scoring properly. So that is that one there. And then this one here. So we do this one here like this. And then on the end, last but not least, we just need this end one like that. So you should end up with that. So that was quite painless, really. Just bring all my little bits out of the tinsel. They've flung themselves places. Okay. So that's what you end up with. So then we're going to go ahead, and if you wanted to, you might have done well to actually fold it along that tab line before you started cutting, but it's all right. We can manage it. There we go, like that. Just bend that over and bend that over. Ooh, my hands aren't working today. There we go. Just fold that over there like that. And then we also want to fold this one over. The other thing as well you could do, which I toyed with doing, was embossing your gold if you're using gold. It's really up to you. And I've got a few dents and bits on mine, but I'll probably, I don't know, I might put a ribbon around the outside or something to distract from the fact there are a few little dents and dinks in the card. Okay, so then instead of doing this first, sticking it together first, we want to make the hexagonal base and stick this onto the base first before we do it. And the brand of my red tape, right, I bought these in bulk, and I'm trying to remember where I got them from. I think I got them as a special on Hobbycraft. I think Hobbycraft, actually I'm not sure now. I did get a bulk from Hobbycraft. They were doing a pack, like a massive bundle of like 10 rolls or something. So I definitely bought from them, and I have a feeling I also bought from the same people I get my normal double-sided tape from, and I can't for the life of me remember what they're called. So if I remember, I'll try and remember to put it in the description below. I still haven't sorted out the description for yesterday's video. You'd have to bear with me. It's all rather busy here. Lots and lots and lots and lots going on. Okay, so for our base, you're going to need a piece of card that is 2 5/8 by 3. Let me just move these other bits that I'm going to need just on a little bit so I can see my notes. 2 5/8 by 3. So what I'm going to do is on the back, I'm just going to go ahead and along the long edge, we are going to mark at 3/4 and at 2 1/4. And we're going to do that on the top and also on the bottom. So 3/4 of an inch and 2 1/4. Then along the short side, you're going to measure and mark halfway at 1 5/16, which is a bit of a pain. So what I just start from the 1, just count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's basically in between the 1/4 inch mark and the 3/8 inch mark. Okay, and then you want to do the same on this side. So 1 5/16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which is there. Okay, and then I'm going to bring my cutting mat in, and I'm just going to cut straight away. I'm not going to bother with drawing lines. I'm just going to get in there. I'm just going to get in there and cut. So let's grab my Stanley knife, trying not to bump the camera again. Oh, it's being stiff and difficult. There we go. Right. So what we're going to do is what we did for the star box. We're going to cut from there to there, from there to there, from there to there, and from there to there. And that will make us, hopefully, a reasonable hexagon. It might not be perfect, but it's good enough. So we're going to go ahead and just cut these bits. Just make sure that you are trying to get it like pretty much bang on with where your mark is. Just quickly do this one here. A little heads up as well regarding my new paper pack. So I've got a new paper pack coming out on Friday, and it's a pre-recorded video. I wouldn't normally launch it in a pre-recorded. And in the video, I do mention, and so, as obviously I'm using the paper, I do say I'm not sure if it's out already. So it's not actually out already. So it's literally out that day. I just wasn't sure when I was recording the video. I wasn't sure when I was going to be bringing it out. So yeah. Every craft's a bargain. Oh, okay. Yes, you can do that from there. Yeah, you can do that from there. Okay, so that is your base. Now, you also need another hexagon. That looks slightly off, but anyway, it'll do for what we need. It doesn't look quite, it looks a bit wonky. Don't know what I've done there, but anyway. Whatever, it is what it is. So you need another one for the inside. So on my original, I didn't have an inside one, but it means you can see all your tabs. So I wanted to have another piece that you just put in that then means you don't see all your tabs. So for that, what I would do is take this one, and as long as it's pretty much, okay, I would draw around it and then just make it very slightly smaller. I did work out that you could potentially do it with a 2.5 by 2 7/8 inch piece of card, and then along the top, so the long edge, you'd mark at 3/4 and 2 1/8, and the same on the bottom, and on the sides you'd mark at 1 1/4, and then obviously draw it, and that should make you a hexagon, which I've already done. Here's one I made earlier, a hexagon that's kind of this, a tiny bit smaller. Obviously you can see mine's not perfect, but yeah, so that might be worth a try doing that. I'm not sure how well it'll work, but yeah, give it a go, give it a whirl. Right, so then I need to take my, where is my pin? I need to take my pin, and we're going to start taking the backing off of these tabs. So I'm just going to do them one at a go, one at a time. I'm going to start with this one, I think. So I'm going to take off a bit of tape, and then what we're going to do is we're going to stick this onto here. So that is going to go on there. In fact, let me just lay it flat for a second for the first one. Get it in like that. See, if you stick your tabs underneath, you might end up needing a slightly smaller hexagon. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead, do the next one, and just work our way around the hexagon. So let's just work our way around. I've got a little bit of excess there, but my hexagon's a little bit bigger than my, but you know, as well, because if you end up like this, I've got a little bit there that's a bit too big. I can trim that off after if I need to. Whereas if you go the other way and put it on the outside, if your wrap isn't big enough for your hexagon, you're stuck. So this is kind of a bit more foolproof. So let us just see. See, when I did my sample, it worked perfectly, but obviously now I'm doing it live. Clearly, we are going to have some issues. Okay, so like that. So I'm just going to trim that off afterwards. And then let's move on to this one. Pull that tab down. And stick that down. I'm just trying to look to see what I'm doing. It's a bit tricky. Getting it in place is a little bit tricky. About there, I reckon. About there. So I am inside. For some reason, this is turning out a little bit. The wrap is turning out a little bit smaller. Very odd. I guess when you just measure things and stuff, sometimes things don't always turn out the same, do they? That's why. That's why. Like that. And then this one. Mind you, I did say it looked wonky, so maybe that's the problem. Maybe one of my other measurements is wrong. I don't know. Right, so on this last piece, you also want to do this tab as well. So you want to do your inside tab and this tab. Now, one thing I did forget to do is sometimes it's easier to stick your foliage on beforehand. Other times it's not. I actually think it's better to stick your foliage on afterwards, to be honest with you. Okay, that goes to there. I just had to pull that out a tiny bit because that was a little bit, there wasn't quite enough room there. Anyway, okay, so there's your base. I'm just going to go around now quickly and just trim off my extra base that's peeking out. I didn't have to do this with the sample, but as I said, live streams. This is what happens on a live stream. There you go. Well, at least it shows you what to do if you end up with the same problem as me. So then what I did with my sample, if you want to, you can just very carefully glue your pieces on, but I just put a load of tape just running all the way around. So I'm going to do a variation of that, I think. But first of all, I'm going to stick my middle piece in. So this is just a gold piece, as I said before, what it is. Let's go ahead and stick this down. I think I'm going to use red tape. Red tape? Yeah, I think we'll use red tape. I know it's not really a construction. It's just that with those tabs there, I have a feeling I'm going to end up having problems. So let's just go with the red tape. Yes. So I wanted to do, as I said yesterday, I think, an Advent one for December, like series of videos. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to do that because I've got a lot going on. And I've got a Christmas drama as well, which I'm doing the scenery for, which I mentioned yesterday. So I've got a lot going on in December, so I might leave it. And what I think I'm going to do, because there are still quite a few projects, Christmas projects, that I really wanted to do in December. And obviously haven't had time to do them in the 12 days series. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do as much as I can do and upload as much as I can, and you just get what you get. So at the minimum, you're going to end up with the usual live stream on a Tuesday and 2 other videos. And at the best scenario, you may well end up with a way more than that. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And getting this in here is interesting. So just bear with a second while I try and get this in. Try not to make it wonky. I hope my head doesn't get in the way. It's a little bit wonky, but it'll do. It will have to do. If you had wet glue, you could have a bit of wiggle room. But yeah. Right, let me now. Okay, so that's that like that. So then we need to stick our foliage in. So you need 6 pieces of foliage, and I would have a look and just see what you think fits and works best. So for mine, obviously I've gone with these, and these are quite wide. These measure 3 inches by 4 1/4, 4 1/2, something like that. So thank you, Cindy. So what I discovered with this was the lower branches kind of get in the way. So I think I actually just trimmed off this branch here, just so it didn't quite get in the way quite so much. So I'm just going to trim that one off. And then that way then it does kind of fit, and you can kind of bend that one out of the way. And so you just want to curl these backwards like that. You don't want an absolute bend, but you just want to curl them backwards a little bit. So I'm just going to stick a little bit of red tape on the inside of each of them, and make sure I don't go fully, like the full whack, the full size of the inside pieces, because I'm going to stick little panels over the top just to finish it off, because this is like a proper one now. That other one was just a test, just to see how well it would work, and it did. So this one is more of a, this is the real deal. This is the real deal. Right, so let's just stick some of these down, and don't worry about the fact that you're sticky, because you're going to be covering these panels up. So let's just stick this on here. Need one more piece. We've got beautiful sunshine again here. I don't know about you guys, what you guys have. I know some of you mentioned your weather already. We have lovely sunshine. Very cold, but at least it's sunny. And I do like snow, but we haven't got it yet, thankfully. So that's good. Right, so that's that stuck. So then I'm going to go ahead and just peel off the backing one by one and stick these in one by one. And as I said, I'm probably going to have to cut off that lower branch on all of them. So let me just go through and do that, because it does sort of get in the way. There's that one done, and that one done. Little update on my clay baubles as well, my air dry clay baubles from yesterday. They still haven't quite dried, so I've turned them over, and I haven't turned all of them over actually. I've turned some of them over, but some of them still aren't dry on the one side. But I think it's because this room, my craft room, is quite cold, and so I think that has obviously hindered the drying process a little bit. Right, so there we go. Is that all of them? Yeah, that's all of them. Big storms. Oh dear, what kind of storms? Like gales and thunderstorms, or like monsoons, or what kind of storms are you getting? I suppose with all the warm weather, isn't it? Hot weather and that. Right, let's just bend these back a little bit. Bend these back a little bit. There we go, like that and like that. It's difficult with being mirrory, because I don't want to like crease it. And this is these foliage is so delicate. The other thing is, well, I've got white on the back, so I mean I would have liked a double-sided mirror, but I don't have a double-sided mirror. But I think if we, in fact, we might just have to bend them. I think bend them out like that. There we go. Let's go with this one. Trying to stick them in the middle. Like that. Let's do a bit on this one as well. Let's just kind of bend them back a little bit. Ready. Thunder and lightning, very, very frightening. Mamma mia. Wow. Yes. As long as your power doesn't go out. And you don't get stuck in a thunder, you know, outside in a lightning storm. I don't think I'd fancy that. It's happened to me on several occasions, and it wasn't the best. Has to be said. Right. Almost there. Just got 2 more sprigs to put on. Galileo. You will not let me go. Yeah. We know all the lyrics, don't we? We do. Right, let's stick this one in. Oh, come on. There we go. There we go. I'm just kind of overlapping them, kind of fanning them out a little bit as we go. There we go. They're wanting to sit quite upright, whereas the other ones floated out a bit more. So you just have to give them a bit of a curl. Hopefully they'll learn eventually. I'm sure over time they'll just kind of flop back a bit with the weight. But yeah. Okay, let's stick this one on. No, like that. Oh. Okay, and so then just to kind of cover up all those stems on the insides, if you wanted, you could leave them, but obviously you've got the stickiness. If you're using glue, you could leave them. But just to cover up all the bits on the inside, I've cut out 6 panels that are like 7/8 by 1 3/8, and I'm going to go ahead and just stick those over the top of those foliage on the inside, just to make it a little bit neater. I'm going to have to put it on its side for this, I think. Oh gosh. Now using wet glue would be a lot easier. However, because I'm using Miri, I can't really do that. So you'll have to bear with if A, my panels are wonky, and B, my head gets in the way. Or C, the project goes off camera completely while I have a proper look. There we go, there's one. You can't, because this is quite chunky, you can see in between the panel and the outside, but never mind. Hi Cynthia, don't worry, it's probably quite early for you, so don't worry. Yes, Vicky, I think that with the gold, I was a bit like, oh, this is going to be a bit extra, this is, but anyway, it's Christmas, so hey, why not, let's be extra. But yeah, it will be very very blingy, this one. These panels are not going to be straight, I'll just tell you now, because yeah, they're going to be as straight as I can get them. You could just do a strip going all the way around that you score kind of the same. I just didn't know whether then you're going to end up, I don't know. I think the trick would be to stick your foliage down with glue, just along the, along the stems, and not bother with panels on the inside. And then that way you could just, you still see your foliage on the inside, but it's not the end of the world. I don't mind seeing the foliage on the inside. It's just a case of I've got all that glue in the way, that's all. But anyway, oh, that was a wonky one. Never mind. By the time I've put the stuff around the outside of the tea light, we should be okay. We should be okay, hopefully. Right, that's going to go in there like that. I think that's the main one you want to cover up, is the one where the tab is. Hi, Teresa. Don't worry. 6 in the morning, my days. You guys are keen. You guys are keen. I have to say, I'm not that keen. So thank you very much for being keen, because I do mean it. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. Right, let's whack this one in. Oh, yeah, there we go. Oh. Oh my goodness, where are you going, Mr. Foliage? Bending around the corner. Right, one more. One more to go. These are not stuck in very well at all. I'm using normal double-sided tape, and I should not be using normal double-sided tape. I should be using some other thing. I mean, the other thing you could do, I suppose, as well, is just put the foliage behind the panels and then stick the panels and the foliage in one go. But I just thought that was asking for trouble. So, that's asking for trouble. Right, so let me just give these a bit of a push out, so a bit more. There we go. So there you go. That's your tea light. And then what I thought to do, and again, I don't know if this is going to work. So we are learning on the hop here. Basically, if your tea light's in the middle there, you've got all that space around the outside, which if you're happy with, that's fine. But I suddenly thought, what about, oh, let me just get down here. What about adding some little snowballs around the outside, and I've got these white and silver and gold snowballs, and I just thought they might look quite nice all around the outside. These ones, I mean, the white ones will probably look quite good, but I quite like the idea of these because you've got the gold and silver and white, and it's kind of, you know, so I think I'm going to do it. So I was thinking about the best way of doing this, and what I think is the best way of doing this is using silicone glue. Now, obviously, I'm going to want to take this tea light out. I need to be able to take the tea light out. So what I was thinking was, with the tea light still in, if I get some silicone glue, and we're being dangerous here because it looks good as it is, so I could potentially make a complete mess of this, but I am having faith in myself and we will see. So what I was thinking was putting a layer of, let's just take that out actually, I'm going to make a little mark, I think. I'm going to move it off camera a bit because otherwise my head's going to be in the way and I don't want you seeing all my grey hairs. So let me just move that there like that. I'm just going to mark around the outside of my tea light, bear with, pencil. So that's there like that, and then let's come all the way around here. Okay, so I've just done a mark around the outside of my tea light, so if you can see a bit of a circle there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with some silicone glue, and I'm just going to silicone glue all the way around the outside like that, and then around the outside of where my pencil line is, and then kind of fill in the middle. Oh. So let's just glue there like that, and then just fill in the middle. It doesn't matter if it's very neat, and because it's silicone glue, it's see-through, so potentially you shouldn't see, hopefully. So I'm going to put my tea light back in carefully like that, and then I'm just going to pour these balls around the outside, hoping, now obviously only the bottom layer is going to stick, but if the bottom layer sticks, that's what we need, really, isn't it? There we go. And then I'm just going to get the end of a pencil, I think. Where's my pencil gone? Here it is. And just push them down. Kind of spread them out a little bit. Now, there's obviously some that aren't stuck, but yeah. I think when those ones, when the glue's dried, I'll go back in, tip that out, and see which ones aren't stuck and which ones are stuck. But I quite like that because it kind of looks a bit like, you know, like you kind of like decorative gravel. And then what I can do is go back in again, do another little layer, just kind of stick a few more in, and then kind of almost like make a wall. So yeah, if you had a small plastic cup, you could sit the tea light in it. Yes. See, that would be a good idea. You could also make yourself like just a little, you could make yourself just a little, like that, like a little cup on the inside, like a little, if you just use a long rectangle of card, and then have it, so like we did with the wrapper, but just not hexagonal, just make it circular, just wrap it around and stick it in, then your tea light just slots in and the balls just sit around the outside. So that's I actually quite like the balls. I'm glad I did that. I wasn't sure. I was a bit like, both risking a bit here, but anyway. But yeah, so there we go. So I just think it's quite pretty. It's quite nice. If you've got foliage dies, I also thought maybe with snowflake you might be able to do it. Snowflake dies, you've got like, you know, long layers of snowflake, and obviously because mine are white on the other side, I want them to kind of bend over a bit more than they're doing. But yeah, so there you go. That is my make for today. Nice and quick. It would look good on as a centerpiece on a table. As I said, you could do all different colours, and I've literally seen them on Etsy, well, on Pinterest, but they're on Etsy. I've seen them done in white. I've seen them done in like a dark, like a hot pink, a pale pink, they just look really nice. I just think if you just keep them nice and simple, same colour, and, you know, job's done, really. And it just helps with all your, you know, your foliage dies. Yeah, I just think it's, you know, it's really quite, and as I said, it will fit your larger, candle just about. So I'm really pleased with it. I was really excited when I saw this. I was like, oh, I really like that. It's just a shame I'm not going to have a Christmas table to stick it on. But anyway, never mind. I'm sure we'll find a use for these. But yeah, I also thought as well, weddings, you know, like a wedding favour, like wedding displays or whatever might be quite useful. You could size up your hexagon if you wanted to. So yeah. So there you go, people. That is today's make. Nice and quick, nice and relatively easy, really. The other thing as well with these ones, with this die, you could put, I was going to do this actually and put vellum in between. So on the, you know, the actual filled in die, I was going to cut that out of vellum and stick them on. So I thought that'd be quite nice to have vellum. But yeah, there you go. So I'm going to take it all off the ceiling so you can have a proper look. I hope you enjoyed tomorrow's video and the day after. What day is that? Friday. So there's the gold one. There's the silver one. Not silver one, white one. Dear me, I don't know what colour I'm at. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed today. Don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you for the 19 people who've already done it. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, switch your notifications on and you won't miss, if I do end up doing lots of videos in December, you won't miss them. So, so yes, I'll see you all tomorrow, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I do appreciate you guys. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Well, I won't, but the pre-recorded video of me will. See you. Bye.